Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to Comic Review 47. In this video, I'll be making an analysis on why I feel the DC Extended Universe is failing. So let's start off by addressing Man of Steel, the first movie of this extended universe. Now, Man of Steel, in my opinion, was an okay movie. I remember seeing it and being incredibly confused in the beginning because it just puts you in a Kryptonian war out of nowhere and little explanation that made sense to me. I really need to watch this movie again since it was such a while ago that I need to see it for myself. I was probably just 14 at the time, so it's good to watch it again 4 years later. This movie was actually pretty successful in the box office though, and established Superman's character in a bit of a more gritty, less colorful tone. This isn't really where the trouble starts for the franchise though. Marvel didn't exactly have the best start critically either. Just look at the Incredible Hulk and Thor. Anyways, the trouble started with Batman v Superman. See, Batman v Superman was supposed to be the best superhero movie of all time. This was supposed to be Marvel's competition to a good franchise. Like, they have two of the most iconic characters of all time, Batman and Superman, and they even had Wonder Woman in the mix. Even the comic book covers look cool for the promotion of Batman v Superman. I mean, there was Superman and Batman tearing through halfway in the page. It was freaking awesome. Although this looked cool and it looked great and everything, there was already two main problems before the movie even started. The first being that Batman hadn't even been established as a character yet. Yeah, we saw him in the Dark Knight trilogy, but this was different. He was an older, more gritty Batman that we don't even know about yet. The second problem was that they were trying to establish half the Justice League in literally the second movie in the franchise without the audience even knowing who they are. I mean, there was Batman and Wonder Woman, and also Wonder Woman was talking about the Justice League, and they showed a few clips of Aquaman and Cyborg. This, I felt like, was going way too fast and doing too much setup for the next movie instead of focusing on their own. This franchise overall was very rushed and trying to desperately cash in on the MCU idea of crossing over superheroes. Now, other franchises have tried doing this MCU kind of crossover thing. Just look at King Kong and Godzilla, for example. You know, they're going to have a crossover movie in 2020. So, you know, it's not really a new idea, but it is a good one. So I guess it's not really DC's fault for doing this idea. It's just that it was executed poorly. I'll do individual videos on each of these movies in depth in the future so that this video won't be 3 hours long. Anyways, Batman v Superman, aside from these problems, just had such a bad script and it was such a mess of adding new characters that they were just juggling too many things at a time. I mean, you got Doomsday, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Lex Luthor who were all new. DC was trying to add so many things in order to catch up to Marvel that it just ultimately came tumbling down. See, the difference is that Marvel took their time to give each individual character their movie, and they even had Black Widow introduced in Iron Man 2, so even Black Widow as a kind of side-ish character, even she had her own introduction in previous movies. So I think that Marvel really took their time on this one. Things take time and patience if you want to do them successfully. I remember the plot not even making any sense either, and the fight scenes being so little that I wasn't even that excited. I actually have no idea what the whole Granny's peach tea thing was all about, and the movie was just so boring. It got more interesting later on with the action scenes, but still. Batman had really cool fight scenes, I'll admit, but he was just killing dudes left and right. I was just thinking to myself, like, what is going on?
Yo, holy shit, he dead!
This movie was a mess, and it could have had a lot of potential to be a good franchise. Then came Suicide Squad later that year. I remember enjoying the movie the first time, but then later realized all the bad things that there was to it upon watching critics and talking to my friends about the movie. There was way more questions than answers, like, why didn't Killer Croc do anything? Why was the movie so focused on Deadshot and Harley Quinn? What was the point of Katana being in the movie in the first place? And why are there good guys who care for each other at the end? This movie was also a mess, and a lot of people complained about the CGI as well, but I didn't really mind it, to be honest. This movie also ruined the Joker, one of the most iconic characters in history. They made him into some gangster Joker wannabe that also didn't even look the part. Moving on to the next movie, which was Wonder Woman. I loved this movie, and so did my cousins when we saw it together. This really took me back to the old days of comic books and really brought to light the First World War, which is not as used as World War II in movies. This movie was directed by Patty Jenkins, who I feel understands the empowerment of a woman and did a great job with putting a female superhero in the spotlight. A lot of people liked this movie as well, and it was a critical and financial success, earning over $820 million worldwide. That's a pretty successful movie. This movie actually earned a similar amount to Batman v Superman when Batman v Superman was expected to gain even more. After this, we got another Zack Snyder directed film with Justice League, I actually liked Justice League when I first saw it, but I often have to see a movie a couple of times to see the plot holes and problems with them. Justice League was DC's answer to the Avengers movie, but boy was it a huge mess. Batman changed from a dark, gritty dude to a joking, light-toned guy, which isn't a horrible choice, but it feels so out of character and out of place, especially compared to Batman v Superman.
Well, I knew you didn't bring me back because you like me.
I don't. Not.
The MCU keeps these characters that they have very consistent in how they are and does careful written scripts with their movies. People complained about Superman being overpowered too, which I agree on. What's the point of a Justice League if they can just bring Superman to do their job for them? In the comics, this is handled differently. Superman isn't always just the overpowered guy that people think he is. In the Justice League comics, everybody has their own job to do and it fits equally to form a team. In this movie, it was just really Superman saves the day and there's no point of the Justice League. I really like Cyborg and Aquaman though, especially considering that they made Aquaman look like a total badass. This movie had a lot of issues which I will address in a future video. People were starting to catch on with the DCEU's mostly bad franchise, and Justice League didn't do so well at the box office. It only gained over $650 million worldwide. I know it sounds like a lot, but compare this to the Avengers that gained over $1.5 billion worldwide. This is over twice the amount. So let's take a look at how this could change by checking out future upcoming movies. So Aquaman is coming out on December and it looks so good so far. The scenery, the costumes, a new director. Although the CGI on some shots looked pretty terrible while good on others. This movie I feel will finally bring the whole Aquaman is lame and can talk to fish stereotype to a close if this film is actually great and successful. This movie actually looks promising. We also have a Shazam trailer, and this movie looks so fun and actually exceeded my expectations by a mile. This costume is great, and although it looks a little campy, it works and gives it an extra charm. This movie seems like it will have no trace of the Justice League, which is a good thing in this case. The last project we have seen in progress is the Joker solo movie, not to be confused with Jared Leto's Joker from the Suicide Squad movie. This will be a different Joker, a different actor, different makeup. Apparently, it might be some sort of origin story, so I'm not really sure how the details are so far. The makeup looks weird at first sight, but is a very welcoming and fresh look on the Joker, which people are kind of digging, and so am I.
I dig it.
We've already seen test footage and behind the scenes, which looks great so far. You have Joker taking off one of the goon masks, which kind of references the Dark Knight trilogy. And we even have his nice green curly hair that they did in the Dark Knight trilogy as well. They do have some references from there, but I feel like this Joker will be a unique one and it will actually be good this time. Overall though, I think the DCU has screwed up in the past, but I feel like this new direction they're going for is good and a nice feel, so I love it so far. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about all this and let me know if you like the DC Extended Universe or not. I personally don't exactly like it, but I don't hate all of it either. I'll explain that in future videos. If you're new to the channel, check out some of my other videos and leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys next time.